Silence provides the pressure that makes these fractures grow. Leaving a problem unaddressed allows it to fester, moving from a manageable tension into a structural crisis that eventually shatters the relationship. To stop that fracture, we are building a step-by-step difficult conversation blueprint. This 5-minute exercise will prepare you for the exact conversation you've been dreading. Gather a pen and a piece of paper right now. Once you have them, isolate one specific interpersonal conflict you have been putting off, with a coworker, a friend, or a partner. Externalizing a conflict onto paper forces your brain to process the situation as a series of logical steps, rather than a vague emotional threat. This transition from abstract worry to concrete planning reduces the biological impulse to react defensively, allowing for a calculated strategy. Define your specific end goal at the top of your page. You must decide whether you want to change a behavior, clarify expectations, or repair team harmony before you ever open your mouth. You must process your anger and frustration privately. When those emotions remain unexamined, they leak into your vocal tone and body language, triggering the other person's defenses before the first sentence is finished. Approaching conflict as a battle for dominance guarantees a loss in relationship trust. Real influence requires a collaborative mindset, viewing the other person as a partner in solving a shared problem. Your opening sentence must acknowledge the difficulty of the topic, state your positive intent for the relationship, and invite their participation. Use those 3 criteria to draft your exact opening sentence on your paper right now. Here is an effective template. I value our working relationship, and I want to address a concern so we can find a better way forward. Audit what you just wrote. Look for any phrase starting with an accusatory you and replace it with language focused on the situation. An intentional opening prevents the listener's brain from entering threat response mode. By bypassing their immediate defensive reflexes, you make a logical resolution possible. Draw a T-chart on your paper. Label the columns interpretations and facts. Interpretations are subjective emotional conclusions. A statement like, "You don't care about this project," belongs on the left because it's an assumption, not a verified event. The brain categorizes interpretations as personal attacks. This triggers mental resistance, making the other person stop listening to your ideas and start preparing their rebuttal. Facts are objective data points that neither party can dispute. Instead of questioning their motivation, you state the verifiable reality. You missed the last 2 milestone check-ins. Objective data bypasses emotional defense mechanisms. It provides a shared reality that forces both parties into a logical processing mode. Identify 2 or 3 verifiable facts relevant to your conflict and write them in your facts column. Stripping subjective emotion from the data is what makes a problem solvable. It moves the conversation away from assigning blame and toward a neutral analysis of the situation. Add a note to your document. Listen to understand, not to rebut. Your goal is to gather their perspective fully before you begin defending your own. Finding one valid point or shared concern in their argument acts as a psychological reset. It signals that you are an honest broker, which naturally lowers the tension in the room. Rushing to solutions before the other person feels their perspective has been acknowledged will create friction. They must feel understood before they will be open to your suggestions. To transition away from the problem and toward a fix, you need solution-focused transition questions. Draft 2 of these on your paper. Use questions like, what does a successful outcome look like for you? Or, what resources are currently missing that would make this work? Once you agree on a path forward, you must document the verbal agreement immediately. Write the framework, who does what, by when, at the bottom of your page. Every agreement needs clear owners and specific timelines. Documented follow-through prevents the same issues from resurfacing. Without it, the conversation was merely a vent for emotions rather than a tool for progress. Review your physical blueprint from the objective at the top to the accountability steps at the bottom. You have moved from a state of harboring a vague, intimidating problem to holding a documented, step-by-step strategy. Stop waiting for the tension to disappear on its own. Schedule the meeting, use this framework, and command respect through clarity. Systematic communication mastery turns friction into lasting influence. It transforms every difficult interaction into a reliable tool for long-term cooperation.